to the chairman of the company and the trust, through Chandramohan, the chief mentor, through Ajit Haridas, the exceptional coaches, through Vishnu Prasanna and through Mariappan, and our brilliant and entertaining MC for the day, Radhavali. But most of all, to all the other coaches and all of you athletes, good evening. I consider it a very great privilege to be here with you today. And I'm very happy that circumstances finally worked out. ஒரு ஆண்டுக்கு மேலே இருக்கும் திரு சந்திரமோகன் அவர்கள் என்றைக்காவது ஒரு நாள் நீங்கள் இங்கே வந்து என்ன செய்கிறோம் என்று நேரடியாக பார்த்து அதனால் உங்களுக்கு என்ன புதிதாக தோணுது, எங்களுக்கு என்ன கருத்து சொல்ல முடியும், எல்லாம் பரிமாறலாம் என்ற வாய்ப்பு பெருந்தன்மையுடன் அளித்தார். பல்வேறு காரணங்களுக்காக இன்னை வரைக்கும் அதை நிறைவேற்ற முடியவில்லை. But the irony of it is that neither he nor I remembered that today is the date of the union budget when we actually fixed this program. And so anyway, once I had made the commitment, I was keen to ensure and finally to come and meet all of you and have an interaction with you. I want to start by saying some basic things and then leave you just with a few words of advice, not advice based on your level of specialization or skill or achievement, but because I'm a lot older than you and I've probably seen more of life in more countries and through more professions. First, I must say that Sri Chandramohan is an exceptional individual. I consider him exceptional not merely because he's a big industrialist, not merely because he has created great wealth. There are a lot of ways to make money. There are a lot of people who create industries. But to create a revolution in an industry that has been around for thousands of years, or a profession of dairy farming, then to scale it to a level where it benefits thousands and thousands of people, to get a template or a model that can be replicated again and again and provide pathways to success for so many in his trail, in his wake, is an amazing and, in my opinion, very, very rare achievement. That's why, from the first time I met him, I'm impressed with the enthusiasm with which he talks about the nature of the processes, the development of the talent, the vision he still has, surely driven more by passion than by personal gain by this point in his life. As rare as it is for a person to have one great vision and one great achievement like that, or in one dimension, it is even more miraculous that he should then decide that rather than doing the customary delivery of the percentage to be spent for CSR on some other initiative and let others deal with that obligation, statutory obligation, that he should take up such a passion to develop excellence in not one but now 3 sports, and to do that in the rural area where he originates from and where people don't have as many choices. இதை சென்னையில் பண்ணுறது எந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு கடினமான முயற்சியோ அதை விட சிறப்பான முயற்சி, அதே சமயம் கடினமான முயற்சி கிராமப்புறத்தில், புறநகரத்தில் இதை செய்வது. அதை தயங்காமல் முன்னெடுத்து இந்த அளவுக்கு குறுகிய நாட்களில் பேரிடர் எல்லாம் தாண்டி இந்த அளவுக்கு வந்திருக்கிறது It's a testament, I think, to his repeated and multi-dimensional vision, and I congratulate him for that. But at the end of the day, no one man can build something like this, or anything this big. And just as I'm sure he had brilliant people working with him, who he selected, he mentored, he trained in his commercial enterprises, such an academy requires the dedicated, the passionate, the skilled, and the compassionate coaches, starting with the mentor and the chief coaches or the head coaches in different sports, all the way to all the different people who are here working with you today as sports athletes. In fact, building institutions is quite hard. யார் வேணாலும் கட்டடத்தை கட்டலாம், பணம் இருந்தால் ஏசியை வாங்கலாம், லைட்டை போடலாம், கோட்டை கட்டலாம். But what separates institutions from each other is the culture, is the value system, is the pursuit of excellence, is the passion that is built into the culture of that institution. Of course, people create the culture, leaders develop the culture, and that's particularly true in an institution that's only 2 or 3 or 3 years old. But at the end of the day, nobody is permanent. Neither are the athletes going to be here forever, nor the coaches, nor even the chairman. So, what marks world-class institutions, whether that's in academics or in sports or any endeavor, is the perpetuation of that culture, of that pursuit of excellence, are the nidikenu. And culture is perpetuated through all of you, because one day you came in as freshers, now you're in the middle of your period here, one day you'll be the seniors, one day you leave here and others will fill your shoes. And a lot of the values that new students or new athletes coming in here will get will be through interaction with the seniors, not just with the coaches or with the administrators. And so the real value to be created here is in setting up this institution as a perpetual center of excellence through the culture that is imparted to you by the coaches and the mentors today, and that you will pass on to the students who come behind you through example, through interaction, through support, through mentoring yourself. In that sense, I'm quite amazed that already such a young institution has achieved so many medals across all the different sports that you have established here today, or till today. I think it is a very good beginning, and I think therefore it speaks of a very bright future if this is continued from effectively batch to batch, generation to generation. Today we are going to give awards to a few people who have met a certain level or certain threshold as the trust has chosen. But as I say many times in real life, and sports is where I learned it in the first place, is that no success is permanent, all success is temporary. This tournament you win, you still got to start at the next tournament at round 1. You don't get to go to the finals. And no loss is not redeemable. You lose this game, there's still the next game. You lose that game, there's still the next game. Of course, you don't want to lose all the time, but no individual loss should really disrupt your attitude or your self-confidence or your enthusiasm to fight the good fight at the next game. One aspect that I had not really contemplated till I came here, but I've seen in real life in many places, not just in sports, in the entertainment industry, in politics, in many places, is that fame is a very dangerous thing. It is a multifaceted attribute. And so many people are not prepared to deal with the consequences of fame. One of the main reasons that I delayed my entry into politics, though I come from a political family and I'm the fourth generation doing public service after having our own wealth and not coming for the sake of a career or progress, is that I didn't want the pressures of being in public life. I didn't want to be under constant scrutiny and constant demand of my time. I wanted to have a life of my own. And I did that for almost 30 years in different countries, in different professions, and then I came back. Now I can deal with it a lot better because I entered public life at the age of 50. I'd already seen and done a lot of things. And the constraints of living constantly in the public eye were not that difficult for me to adapt to. It was still a bit of adapting, but it wasn't a lot. But for all of you, it's going to be a serious issue because you're so young. Many of you have come from very sheltered backgrounds. You have come from relatively modest means. And all of a sudden, if you start winning a lot, if you start getting very famous, the media spotlight and the attention will get very intense. And much as it looks maybe appealing from the outside, once the spotlight is on you, it is quite a high pressure environment. So I'm also happy to note that the Trust and the Academy here have already thought ahead about all this and have sports psychologists and mentors and coaches who have already stood in the spotlight and who have experienced the pressures that brings and will be able to guide you through and try and help you work through the price of fame, because there is a price for fame. Having said all of that, let me just pay my respects. You know, excellence is achieved by very few. Many start with different advantages. Not everybody gets to be born incredibly talented, but most of us have some capacity that if we are given a chance to develop, we can excel along some dimension or the other. For all of you, the good news is that you have already progressed to an exceptional level at your age in your sport, and you have shown the kind of dedication and commitment that has brought you here. I wish all of you great success. I know the level of investment of your time, of the sacrifice of leaving other choices, of the traditional kind of school life or college life that others may be going through cannot be very easy. And so in that sense, I pay my respects to you because you are already a class apart. You're already living at a different level. If I had the kind of dedication that you do, maybe I'd do a better job at being a minister. But anyway, it is what it is. I happen to have had the luxury of a very well-rounded life, many degrees, many professions, many countries. There's something to be said for that. On the other hand, there's something to be said for finding people who can reach new heights through dedication in one dimension, in one sport. So, because you're all so different from me, I commend and pay my respects to you. I wish you all the best as you go through this year's tournaments and next year's tournaments and advance from the sub-junior to the junior to the senior. I know you'll have more and more role models within this community, and I look forward to coming back again sometime and hearing of the greatly increased number of medals and successes, and to seeing many of you on my TV screen someday as great champions in your respective sports. Thank you very much for inviting me.